Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, hope your Tuesday's off to a great start. Hope everybody had a good Monday. I did. Got to listen to Brian Kelly. Kind of catch up after the Alabama loss. It was interesting. His the phrase he used over and 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 over again was, "Do you want to be good? Do you want to be great? Do you want to be elite?" And he was pretty clear. He came to LSU to be elite. Want to compete for win championships down here. So. Big part of that is how you respond this week after the loss to Alabama. I asked him the question point blank. Is your first time the week after an Alabama loss? And around here, in the past, we've seen that really kind of hover over the program because, you lose that game, and for all intents and purposes, and in this year it's literal, your goals are gone. You're not going to win the West. You're not going to win the SEC. You're not going to go to the playoff. You're not going to win a natty. Jayden Daniels' Heisman hopes are gone. So, what are you playing for? And that and sort of every question subsequent, all kind of all went the same way. And he continued to stress the importance of wanting to be great and building upon what they've done and getting to 10 wins and for the second consecutive year and continue to build that culture and so forth. So as far as Jayden, Brian Kelly did say that on Monday, Jayden had shown progress, which was really good. He'd shown progress from the hit on Saturday. They did not practice Monday. Monday's not a practice day for LSU. They're off. So today, Tuesday, is a practice day. So we'll see if Jayden is available at all today. Brian Kelly is scheduled to meet with reporters Wednesday morning on the SEC coaches teleconference. And then, of course, Thursday evening after practice, he has his meeting, and then Thursday night is his coach's show. So, we'll get these updates as the week goes along. But I guess the next real update we'll have from Brian Kelly about Jayden will be Wednesday morning on the SEC coaches teleconference. Okay, I'll say some good mornings. Y'all know the drill. If you're on YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like Matt Scone page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being here with us. I'll say some good mornings and dive into it. Whatever y'all got, fire away. Wendell Norman, Jerry G, Guy Brooks, Gulf South, good morning, good morning. Trav 504, good morning. Bailey C, my girlfriend is from Sipsey, Alabama. You can imagine how my weekend went. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I got a cousin, my cousin Nick. His wife Allie is from Alabama. Nick's obviously from New Orleans and big LSU fan. So, but they moved to Montgomery years back, and he's actually a Montgomery police officer. So he's living in the belly of the beast. He's living in Alabama, married to an Alabama fan. But at least he's an LSU fan with a badge in Alabama. Wacky Chris, Mont Dog, Trav 504, Pizza Boy the Jedi, Morning Scone. Do you think Brian Kelly has worked on picking up extra yards on the feet with Nuss in case he needs to play Saturday? Seems like we might need that. Thoughts? No. First of all, they haven't practiced this week yet. They'll practice this afternoon. And, Garrett's an athletic guy. He's not Jayden. But then again, I'm not sure there's another quarterback in college football that is, with respect to Jalen Milroe, who looked pretty good this weekend. The thing is, you're playing Florida this week, and Florida's bad, y'all. That's a bad football team. They're a bad team. They're poorly coached. But Arkansas is a bad football team and came in and put up 400 yards and 31 points, or whatever it was, 33 points. So, my hope is Jayden's good to go, because if Jayden's good to go, LSU offensively is going to go score a ton against Florida. It's not going to matter. It'll probably look like the Auburn game did. But Jayden's not able to go. It gets decidedly trickier. B-Rock, Gorilla, Glenn Garner, good morning. Do you think the Saints can make the NFC and win anything? Well, Glenn, I think they can win the NFC South. When you look at the Saints schedule, the Saints and Atlanta have the easiest remaining schedules in the NFL. And of course, you play Atlanta twice. And I think the Saints are probably on a little more solid footing right now than the Falcons are. Because Falcons bench Ritter and they're playing Heineke now. Heineke got Washington to the playoffs, so we'll see. But if the Saints make the playoffs as the NFC South champion, they'll host a wild card game against a team, from a good division that doesn't win their division. So let's see. Like as it stands now, Saints obviously would be the 4 seed as the NFC South champion. And the Saints would play, let's see, Philly would have the bye, the Lions would play the Vikings, Niners would play the Cowboys, and the Saints would host Seattle. If it went down today, Saints would host Seattle. Can you beat Seattle at home? Yeah. You win that, you're on the divisional round. In Philly, probably. Let's assume Detroit beats Minnesota. San Francisco beats Dallas. Yeah, so you'd be the lowest remaining. Yeah, so then you go play in Philly, where you'd probably lose. So, do I think they can win the NFC and get the Super Bowl? I do not. Zachary Hardy, good morning, Matt. I know there's been plenty of conversation about the Turner hit, but did you get a chance to see the replay of the late hit, Superman dive they made on the back of Mason Smith? I did, Zachary, and I didn't have a problem with that at all. Real time, it's not as egregious as some have made it out to be, and pile jumping and things like that happen, and I whatever. Could they, if they had thrown a flag, great. They didn't. I'm okay with it. Honestly, Zachary, I didn't find that to be egregious. Boo Daddy, 1092, young guys like Whit Weeks need to play more the rest of the year. Hey, man, look, people have been talking about Whit Weeks all year. I mean, I don't disagree that I'd like to see him play more, but clearly there's a reason why they feel like they like Omar Spates out there. Maybe it's because he makes all the defensive calls and he's a veteran player. I don't know. But clearly there's something that they see that fans don't. We tend to look at who's making the tackles, who's getting the statistics sort of thing. But that doesn't always tell the whole story. So I'm with you. I love Whit Weeks. Love to see him play more. Coaches aren't infallible. They can certainly make the wrong decision about personnel. And Brian Kelly talked about it. They probably should have spied Milroe. They had it in their package. They didn't use it. Could have used it more. Didn't. Then again, you spied against Jordan Travis in week 1, and look what that did for you. So one way or another, you're just going to leave your defense vulnerable. My dog, Mr. House, should be gone by the bowl game. If Brian Kelly keeps House, he will end up fired at LSU down the line. Yeah, I don't think he's keeping that House. I don't know how you can justify it. You say the right things now, and I understand that, but there's no justification for keeping Matt House after this year. Brad David, good morning. Was Chavis fired midseason back in 2014, or did Les wait until after the season? Chavis wasn't fired. Chavis left LSU for Texas A&M. That all transpired around the bowl game, if you remember. LSU was getting ready to play Notre Dame in the Nashville bowl game, the Music City Bowl, and Javis was being courted by A&M at the time. Gulf South, why are Jayden's Heisman hopes gone? He's still third on BetMGM, and Dixon said all the On3 voters still voting for Jayden. Playing or not this weekend is the big question. That's Dixon said all the On3. Okay, I said Shay. So I looked up DraftKings Heisman odds yesterday, and Jayden didn't even have Heisman odds. Like, he wasn't even listed. I'm looking right now to see if they've updated. Yeah, like he's not even on the list on DraftKings. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Jordan Travis, Carson Beck, Marvin Harrison, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Milroe, Caleb Williams, Blake Corum, Drake May, Dylan Gabriel, Austin Estime, Kyle McCord, Neighbors, Jonathan Brooks. I mean, he doesn't even have odds on DraftKings. He's literally off the board. I know it's weird, but I mean, he's literally off the board. So, I mean, let me see if I can find a more like comprehensive list. Penix, Nix. Who is this? Oh, that was before. Hang on one second, y'all. Drew's backpack, excuse me. Hang on one second. Sorry about that, y'all. So anyway, real quick about the Heisman. I'm curious, maybe, I don't know why DraftKings has him off the board. Maybe I'm trying to look at other sites. I mean, I think you said BetMGM has him. I'm looking, here's covers. Covers will list them all. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so, oh, never mind, this was November 2nd. No, so I'll need to find an updated one. Anyway, I'll need to find updated odds. Well, I'll look deeper into it today, but why are his Heisman hopes gone? A lot of times people want to vote for the winner. As dumb as that may sound, it's true. It's almost like a political election. Think about this. If you're a red or a blue, and I don't care which one you are, it doesn't really matter. Let's say there's a candidate you like, but you know he doesn't have a chance to win, or she doesn't have a chance to win. So instead of voting for that person, you might vote for the person that does have a chance to win. So that way your party wins the election instead of wasting your vote. I hate to say it that way, but you understand what I mean. So I think sometimes you see that with Heisman voters as well. I also think most Heisman voters are followers. It is really impossible to lock in and watch every player of every game, especially when you're a media member that doesn't cover the sport as a whole, but you cover one team. When you cover one team, especially on a football Saturday, your entire football Saturday is revolving around covering that team. You're at the stadium early, you're at the stadium late, you're locked into that game that you're covering. It's very hard to be deeply aware of everything going on nationally. So you just have a lot. You tend to have a lot of followers. Narratives get started, and we also see people just follow these unwritten rules, like, well, it's going to be a quarterback, or it's got to be you got to be on a winning team, and if you lose, you're out, and it's just the way that the award has gone forever. So, um, I mean, maybe over the next 3 weeks, Jayden Daniels just puts up absolutely bonker stats, and we see Michigan lose and Washington lose and Florida State lose, and so it dings all the other quarterbacks. And Jayden's case is so compelling that he rockets back up. Very hard to imagine that at this point. Guy Brooks, I believe Brian Kelly realizes the options at defensive back are limited. Hope they find some answers by Saturday night. Well, the good news is Guy Brooks' Florida isn't exactly the team that's gonna destroy you through the air. Jeff McKiffin, Kelly Gross, Amy Hyde, good morning. Brand Roban, I see people commenting, and I think sometimes I'm tired of hearing we need to coach and play better week after week. But I understand Brian Kelly still needs time to get the right players. I'm staying patient. Well, you should be patient. He's not even fully through his second year. You have a coach that's got a 30-year track record of success. He'll be fine. They got to recruit, and he's going to have to make staff changes this year. So, Dwayne Vincent, good morning. David Tolson, Kim Mulkey forewarned the press and team Colorado was good. She's seen this movie before. Yeah, the LSU women's basketball team lost last night. I heard today on ESPN, first time since 1995 that the preseason #1 team lost their opener. Rocky Killian, good morning, Matt. Tough loss last night for the ladies. See a lot of potential, no chemistry. They also need I didn't watch a minute of the game, by the way, full disclosure. Not a single minute of the game. But I do know, and Kim said, like, they need a point guard. I mean, they got tons of scorers. They don't have a true point. They don't have Alexis Morris. They need someone who can run the point and facilitate their offense. But anyway. But I think the bigger problem, too, is you gave up 90 points. So, Mark McCarter, we could probably run on Florida, the running backs. Karen Reeves, good morning, Matt. I think Matt House coached the girls' basketball defense last night. Sean Bennett, how many points do you think Florida puts on our defense? Florida's not good, y'all. I mean, Florida is akin to Auburn. I mean, you could see a game like the Auburn game that played out. If LSU shows up ready to play and isn't feeling sorry for themselves, you could see a game play out like the Auburn game played out. Like, it could be something like that. LSU's a 2-touchdown favorite. Let's see. The total is 63 and a half. So LSU's a 14-point favorite. You know, you see, you're talking like a 38, 24 type game is kind of what Vegas is projected, thereabouts. Tiger Diver, James McKinney, morning, Matt. I was listening to Jordy the other day. I had to turn it off. Glenn Garner, I don't really do the thing. James, no disrespect, I just don't do the thing where I talk about other people's shows. Everybody has opinions. Everybody does a show. You do it differently. You like some, you don't. I'm not saying anything against your comment. I don't care. You know, um, I don't watch other people's shows. I don't listen to other people's shows. I spend all my day prepping and creating content. So anyway, whatever. Glenn Garner, I've been hoping my prayers to help Daniels will recover well. Jason H, good morning on this foggy day. All right, a couple more minutes, y'all. Please smash that like button if you would on YouTube. Subscribe up Facebook. Please like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. Tara Walker, is there a worry, or is it just expected that if there's a big staff change like DC, it should be expected to lose players to the portal? I mean, that typically happens, but that goes both ways. You know, there's going to be other programs that lose commits and stuff like players, so you just got to evaluate well and get good players. Trivia Carter, Brad David Wise, Florida, such a train wreck. They definitely don't have a quarterback. Napier needs to run his style of offense, and I don't think they have great talent on defense. So it's a lot. And the end of the game last week was a total mess against Arkansas, so that's on Napier. Dalton, do you have confidence in us? He can be the guy. I'm awful puckered about this Florida game if he starts. You should be, because Jayden Daniels has been the engine that makes your team go. And Garrett Nussmeier isn't Jayden Daniels. Nobody is Jayden Daniels. So the fear of the unknown, I think, is legitimate. Eric, since moving to the 3 tech, Mason Smith has been equally non-impactful. I don't mean this to bash the guy. What excuses left to explain his production this year? I don't know. He was productive there in the middle of the season. Didn't have a great night the other night. Cole Greischaber. Morning, Matt. Do you think we'll see some players transfer out when fire Matt House? Does that typically mainly happen when a head coach gets fired? So, Cole, literally every team, every year, every school, every place, every season has players leave. So, yes, there are going to be players that transfer no matter what. But the same is true at other places. So, just manage your roster, man. Kendall Jones, Taylor Hudson, dumb hypothetical question. If we had a defense from last year, this year, do we win it all? You win the SEC. I can confidently say that. Which Arpinar, Converse, Mekhi Garner at cornerback, Greg Brooks, Joe Fouché, Jay Ward, all at safety. You had Ali Gay and B.J. Ojolari, and so you had Perkins in that sort of rover jack role. Baskerville was a tackling machine. I mean, yeah, you're a playoff team. You certainly beat Ole Miss, and I think you win on Saturday. Let's see. When asked about a spy, he said in retrospect we could have done that. How does $12 million combo of House, Brian Kelly not see that in game? That was worse than Plenty not adjusted versus Mississippi State. Man, I was sitting in there and I heard him say that too. It's a tough. It's a catch-22. So could they have spied Jalen Milroe? Sure. We also saw them do that against Jordan Travis at Florida State, and look how that worked out. And the thing everybody feared coming into the game was Milroe's ability to beat you with the deep ball. And you knew your secondary already wasn't very good. Now you're playing a bunch of freshmen. So do you commit a player, you take a player away from the secondary to commit him to spying Jalen Milroe, leaving your secondary vulnerable? I kind of feel like, and this is all hypothetical, obviously, if they did allocate a spy and Milroe stays in the pocket and he beats you with deep balls, we're going, the one thing Milroe did well was throw the deep ball. So why are you out there running a spy? And we saw that not work against Florida State. I just feel like it's a little bit of hindsight there, because what you did didn't work. It's not to say that if you changed it would have, because, I mean, as we've talked about, your defense is not good. Hey, Dad, good morning. Michael Cook, Randy Smith, what up? Craig Dugas, Jamie Leday, Ron St. Pierre, appreciate everybody for being here. I got to get going, y'all. It's already after 8, so I got to get Drew up and get him dressed. Barry Jocelyn, Matt, curious how much sleep do you get at night? What time do you usually go to bed? I get enough sleep, Barry. Just when I'm awake, I allocate my day very well, very structured day. I usually try to go to bed at like 10:30 or 11, depending on if there's a game on I'm watching. So like last night I watched the end of Monday Night Football, then I went to bed. And then I wake up and I go work out at 5:30. So usually between 6 and 7 hours a night. And then it's just when I'm up, like I go to the gym, come home, start Drew's backpack feed, a shower, I get dressed, I make my coffee, I do morning scone. As soon as we run here, I get Drew up, get him dressed, bring him to school. Like I'm leaving there today, drop Drew off at 8:45. I got TV with Cobble and Shay at 9:30. I've got a meeting at Guarantee at 10:30, another meeting at 11, another meeting at 12. I have to prep. You know, show will end, I'll come home, I'll eat dinner, I'll take Drew to ride around because he always likes to do that at night. And then I'll come back, I'll do some post-production, you know, shorts, social media, stuff like that. Feed Drew at 8, bathe him at 9, shower sometime 9:30 or 10, and then usually 10:30 or 11 I'm in bed. So I don't know that you cared about all that or needed all that. And now it's 8:04 and I'm really late, so I'm going to go. Okay, LSU Daily is already live. AFR 3, we'll see you. Peace.